If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, why is it important for you to focus on the reasons why something will work? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. Okay, so here's what happens. Whether I work with entrepreneurs, salespeople, technicians, doesn't matter what it is. The people who look for reasons, to look for the silver lining, to look for a reason why something works, do far better than the people who are constantly looking for a reason to not make it work, okay? Where your focus goes, energy flows. Tony Robbins says that. He's a pretty smart fella. Really tall dude, but really smart too. And so here's what happens. It's not uncommon to sit with a group of entrepreneurs. It's not uncommon to sit with a group of salespeople, and we'll line out a plan, okay? And there's nothing wrong with going, hey, I got a question. How do we get past this barrier? Hey, I've got a concern. How do we do this? And then we work through it. But there's always a small segment of the population who consistently look for every single reason why something will not work. On a Wednesday, on a full moon, when you stub your toe getting out of bed, those types of situations. And it's one of the toughest things to deal with for you as a salesperson, or for me as a salesperson, trainer, or entrepreneur coach. And the reason for it is if you can come up with 100 reasons why something's not gonna work, guess what? It's not gonna work. You're wasting your time. If you could come up with 100 reasons why something's going to work, there's a higher probability that you are gonna see success with that task, with that schedule, with whatever project that you're working on. So you're like, Scott, come on, man, what does that got to do with me? And I'm gonna say, look, there's gonna be a time where somebody comes to you and says, we got a plan, I've got a new skill, I've got a new talent for you, I've got a new idea, and your brain's gonna go, that's a lot of work. And then the next step is, since that's a lot of work, let's find all the reasons why it won't work, okay? And I'm gonna ask you to reframe, flip that over, flip it over and say, hey, I know it's work, I know it's gonna be effort, I know I might struggle, I know I might get rejected, but let's look for all the reasons why it won't, why it will work. Let's look for all the reasons why it will work. And this right here is why you should join my email publication. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, okay? So here is the way that I look at things. I'm gonna give you my perspective, my view, my business and sales x-ray vision here. And what this is for every project that I work on, I look for 10 reasons. 10 reasons why it'll work before I look for any reason why it won't. Okay, so I get my mind in the momentum mindset. I use some mental toughness in sales and some mental toughness in business, because here's what happens. If you're gonna focus on all the reasons why something won't work, it's not going to work. In the world of sales, if you look for an objection, you're gonna find it, right? Like you're sitting on a couch and you're looking under the couch cushion, you're like, oh, there's an objection. There's a box, you open the box up, right? You got the lid going, oh, there's an objection. If you look for a reason why something's gonna work, there's a higher probability that you're gonna have success. Now, people come to me and like, hey, Scott, does that mean that I can't say, hey, I've got some concerns, I got some doubts, I've got some issues? Nope. But anytime that you're starting a new project, if you're working on something, you really wanna find out, like, how is this gonna work? What reasons would you do this? Like if you got a buyer, like, hey, help me out here. Why don't we start with this? What are the reasons why you would do this? Right? Help me. And then like, can you give me another? Can you give me another? Can you give me another? And then, hey, help me out. What are the reasons why you would not do this? And if you have somebody who's got like way more reasons that they won't do it than the reasons why they would, at least you know up front. That's something you can use in the discovery process. Does it work every time? No. Stop looking for reasons why it won't work. I'm going to challenge you from here on out today, start looking for the green flags instead of the red flags. Start looking for the checkered flags instead of the caution flags. Start looking for the reasons why you can instead of all the reasons why you can't, right? All those reasons why you can't, they're always going to be there. There's always like a standard. It's not a good time. It's not a good place. It's not the right money. It's not the effort. Like there's only 7 or 8 objections that we face consistently in sales. And then everything else is a hybrid and everything else goes along with it. One of the most frustrating things for anybody is to put a project together and then have somebody sit down there and be a naysayer and say, here's a million reasons why it won't work. I'm like, great. You have 27,000 reasons or a million reasons why it won't work. Can you tell me 5 reasons why it will? And typically that person can't. Just because somebody's mad doesn't mean they're not going to buy. You just have to have the right conversation. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it every time I send out a video. You'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. You have to share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.